Nightwing issue 8, Tim Seeley and Xavier Fernandez is back after. Well, he was back in the last issue, but obviously he wasn't there for the Night of the Monster Men stuff.
Yep.
So this is coming back in after Bruce got kidnapped by Raptor at the end of the last issue.
Mm-hmm.
He's got him at the abandoned circus, all strung up, waiting for Nightwing, and Nightwing's going there. And we get a lot of flashbacks and backstory filled in this episode about who Raptor was back in the circus days, how he sort of knew Dick's mother, what that relationship was, and it makes for some great moments. I thought this was a great issue. This was a great end to this.
I will agree. It's given Dick a crazy villain. Like, most of Dick's villains aren't that memorable, and then he'll share a lot of Batman's. So here it's given him, because I don't believe this is the last we'll see of Raptor ever.
Oh yeah, of course not. No.
So I like that they filled in that, yeah, he is a little bit nuts and belongs in Arkham. You know, like other Batman villains.
Yeah.
And it was just...
It's interesting parallels, though, because he feels that he should have been responsible for Dick because he was close to his mother after the thing that happened, and he's seen Bruce as taking him out from the poor world that he inhabited and giving him the silver spoon. Even to the point where when he's going to kill Bruce, the trap that's going to go off is a sharpened silver spoon that's going to kill him.
And like, look, we know my issues with Batman, but I don't think, like, growing up as a ward of Bruce Wayne is not a silver spoon thing. Like, how many Robins has he lost? Like,
I know. Like, he trains them. He puts them through, like, serious boot camp. Yeah. As we're about to see in the next issue of Superman, I'm pretty sure. You know,
boot camp, called boot camp. Yeah,
called boot camp. Yeah.
But yeah, and you get the thing that Raptor has this obsessive mind, and he wants to do good, but his whole sense of justice is warped.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't even like Nightwing's dad. Like, Dick's dad, John, he tries to warn Mary, his mom, of him. Because we get to the backstory of Raptor that he was living in Paris, right?
Yeah.
And
this is before,
part of, like...
This is before like Dick's parents meet. This is like when she's on her own.
Yeah, and she's an aerialist in the circus, and he ends up getting sick with... They said it was like leprosy, but not quite leprosy.
Yeah.
But she showed him compassion and was, stood by him when no one else would. And so he's, kind of grown attached, and then, she meets John, and they become the Flying Graysons, and he's kind of jealous of that, but still basically wanted to watch out.
And clingy as well, because we sort of see in that opening flashback where, Dick's parents are having the conversation, and this is like Dick kind of loosely remembering, I do vaguely remember them talking about some guy who was around,
Yeah, and John's kind of like, but he's kind of creepy. Like, you don't get creep vibes from him?
Yeah.
It makes me uncomfortable, and so I liked all that, and it made sense that he's from Nightwing's past, I just want to know, like, if because, like, he has all that technology and stuff. Where did he get all that from? Like,
I guess, I mean, we've seen him sort of worked for and dupe all these criminal organizations.
Yeah.
I imagine he's sort of collected all this kind of stuff while doing all that.
Could be.
Over the years. Because, to be fair, I mean, it has been, 20 years since the death of Dick's parents or something like that?
Yeah, and I also thought he was more of a contemporary character of Dick's, not older, around Bruce's age.
Yeah, he seems to be about Bruce's age. By the way, I just want to say, during the fight, when, Dick gets there and he fights Raptor, I love that he smashes, half of his mask off, and, he spends half of the fight where we see his face, but with the mask, sort of cracked around him. It was a really cool visual.
Well, and I love when he throws the Eskrima sticks. It's kind of Daredevil-esque, but the fact that he catches one but not the other, and that's what smashes. And the art there, too, is Raptor is picking the pieces of his mask off of his face. Like, that's such a great visual.
By the way, I'm almost curious if someone else did the art on, see when Raptor's telling the story about Paris and all that? The art looks very different, and I'm wondering if it was actually someone else, or if it was just Fernandez.
That'd be cool. Fernandez, changes the style, so you get the vibe that it's different.
Yeah.
So, it's cool. It's all solid, and even the very end, which I didn't realize that because Raptor's plan for Bruce is he staged that kidnapping in the last issue, and it made it look like Bruce was brave, and so that's going to send the stocks for Wayne Tech to go up. So once they cross a certain point, that's when the sharpened silver spoon
that was
is going to stab him in the heart. I also didn't realize that it was raising him up with a crane. Batman being what he does is uses Raptor and Nightwing's fight to get himself out of that. But then he needs to get off of that thing, and Nightwing catches him.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that moment, because this moment's actually fantastic, because he gets out of the restraints, but now by this point he's like 50 foot, 100 foot in the air, whatever it is, and he looks down, and the art is fantastic here. It's a very great sequential story where it comes closer into his eyes, and he closes his eyes and lets go. Yeah. And Nightwing catches him, which is a fantastic moment in and of itself, because even at that point I'm like, he's falling because he knows Nightwing will catch him. So it's already a really sort of touching kind of thing. But even in the next,
because this whole series started, this volume of the series there's a kind of a not distrust, but there's tension between the two of them. Yeah. And how Dick wants to dealing with the court or the Parliament versus Bruce, and Bruce is like, well, you can stand on your own now, like you're an adult. So for it to kind of culminate with this and him jumping and Nightwing catching him that way, leap of faith. It's really great.
Yeah, and even when he tells him in the last page, which I don't think we needed, but it actually made for a really sweet moment because if Dick didn't know that he trusted him, then it's nice that he got to hear it.
Well, he goes, you fell. He goes, no, I jumped because I knew you'd catch me. And just hearing that too, I think Bruce is that type of dad that he doesn't have to say I love you. He shows it instead of tells you. But sometimes you want to be told it. And so it was nice for him just to let Grayson know that, we're old partners, but still, like, I knew you were going to get me.
Yeah, it all goes back to just their relationship and how it always tugs on my heart chords when they show it in some way, when they give us something like that.
Well, that's what the New 52 kind of got away from, was everything was compartmentalized, whether it was Barbara and Dick or Dick and Bruce, and here they've just written the familial alliance, if I'm using that right, because we've gotten Barbara showing up through here and being like, don't trust Raptor. Yeah. And we're getting Bruce now in here.
Yeah, this is a Dick Grayson who has connections to Batman, has connections to Barbara. It all matters,
And they matter towards the story going forward, because it's how, it's that distrust that Barbara has that kind of has him shield himself from Raptor, So it's good to see that these other characters are having an impact on him and his decision making. So
that's good.
But really solid.
Yeah, fantastic. I really love this issue of Nightwing.